Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome for joining us tonight at Tiger Stadium. Jack Hillgrove here alongside Joe Smeltzer. It's the Moon Tigers hosting your West Allegheny Indians. Joe, these high schools are separated by about 8 miles. Week 9 in the WPIAL football season. It's rivalry week, and for these two schools to be playing each other, how close they are, it seems fitting.
Yeah, especially, Jack, with the realignment in the WPIAL over the past few years. West Allegheny hasn't really kept many or really any of its traditional rivalries except for Moon. So with Bethel Park, Upper St. Clair, schools like that coming in that are great schools, but West A doesn't exactly have a history with. Moon's different. West A and Moon have been going back to the late 90s when Bob Palco and then Moon coach Mark Capilano were both very successful in AAA, and now in the 5A, the teams have remained constant, and last year, Moon got a pretty big win over West Allegheny.
Yeah, the final score of that one, 27-20 at this stadium. Moon looking to replicate their success at home against the Indians last season, and the Indians, on the flip side of things, looking to take the Allegheny 8 Conference in Bob Palco's final season as the man in charge for West Allegheny. If the Indians come out on top tonight, and the Peters Township Indians are able to beat Baldwin, or Baldwin's able to beat Peters Township, West Allegheny's able to take the conference, which would be huge, especially for Coach Palco's final season.
Yeah, talking to Bob Palco before last week's game against North Allegheny, he told me that if somebody had told him that West Allegheny would be in a position where they could win a conference championship, he would have had his doubts. So this team, I feel, has overachieved, and it would be pretty incredible when you think about it with this group of players to win probably the toughest conference in 5A.
Toughest conference in 5A is definitely an understatement, as 3 teams sit atop the Allegheny 8 standings at 5-1 in the conference: Upper St. Clair, Peters Township, and West Allegheny. Bethel Park's no slouch themselves at 4-2. Baldwin and Woodland Hills are both tied at 2-4. Moon is 1-5, and Char Valley is 0-6. That is the Allegheny 8 Conference. Moon at 1-5, 2-7 overall this season. In Ryan Lynn's second season as the man in charge, he was the offensive coordinator for 2 years before taking over in 2017. He has a 7-12 overall record. He was the offensive coordinator at Freedom High School for 3 years and an assistant at West Allegheny under Coach Bob Palco. An interesting fact about Moon High School itself: Ron Ledbetter is the father of communication student, a classmate of ours, Ben Ledbetter, at Waynesburg University. He taught Coach Ryan Lynn at Southside High School, so interesting connection there. Moon, as a high school, talking about them, some impressive alumni as well. John Calipari and Bob Davey, to name a few. Calipari, obviously, the head coach at Kentucky. Memphis before, an extremely credible college basketball coach.
Yeah, and Bob Davey was the head football coach at Notre Dame as well. So, in talking to Bob Palco before this week's game, he made the point that Moon, they're not going to the playoffs, so this is their playoff game for Moon. Moon's been circling this on their calendar, came in last year in a similar situation, underdogs at home against West Allegheny, and for the first time in more than a decade, as we mentioned earlier, beat West Allegheny. So this team, they know that they can compete with West A. They know now that they can beat West A, and they can use that confidence to spring them forward into giving West Allegheny a pretty good game tonight, which hasn't happened a lot in this rivalry in recent years.
It's Moon and West Allegheny coming up next. 3 minutes and 25 seconds remain on the pregame clock as the West Allegheny cheerleaders set up the banner for the players to run through. The Moon players, the majority of them at least, already graced the sideline. West Allegheny lost the toss. Moon won it. They deferred to the second half, so West A will get the ball to start this one. And in that, we will see quarterback Cam Cruz. We didn't see a lot of him last week in the debacle with North Allegheny. Coming into the evening, 881 yards passing, 15th in 5A. 225 yards rushing as well. Quite the athlete is Cam Cruz. And he's got some weapons around him. Kyle Guilfoyle back this week. Drayvon Baldwin, the deep threat as well. We saw Elijah Collier's dress in practice and warm-ups somebody that has missed the last couple of weeks as starting receiver, and John Rink, who has 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns this season. So Cruz is surrounded by a plethora of wide receivers that can make plays, and the Flatty brothers at running back, Dante and Nico. Dante Flatty, the senior, 12th in 5A in rushing. Somebody that's proven all season long that he's a top caliber rusher of the WPIAL as West Allegheny takes the field to start this one. Tonight should be an interesting matchup. I know West Allegheny a little upset that they couldn't pull things off a year ago. I imagine that they have that chip on their shoulder and Coach Balco has them ready to go.
Yeah, last year, very similar situation. West A had 1 loss in the conference, and had they beaten Moon, they would have won a share of the conference with Upper St. Clair. So they have a chance to take at least a share once again and possibly even win the conference outright, depending on what happens with Peters Township and Baldwin. But 2 teams going out right now. West Allegheny's band playing the war chant that they always do before kickoff, and we're getting ready, and it's football weather, I guess you can call it that.
It's cold. It's October in western Pennsylvania, and the rain is falling. As you saw on our stand-up, we are out in the elements here at Moon High School in the rain, in 40-degree temperatures. It is football weather, Joe, to say the least. As the captains grace the field, the captains for Moon and the entire senior class for Moon on senior day, and the captains for West Allegheny meet at midfield to shake hands. The coin toss commenced pregame with West Allegheny will get the ball to start this one. Captains for the Indians, Kyle Guilfoyle, Logan Rossai, Mateo Vandamia, and Dante Flatty. And as the head referee for tonight's matchup
Tigers have won the toss
gets
and
the squads ready,
will get the opening kickoff.
the lead official tonight for the contest is Wayne Mattis, the umpire Jerry Jones, the head linesman Mike Marchi, the line judge Ed Moeller, Andy White's the field judge, and Rob Manns is the side judge. Jack Hillgrove and Joe Smeltzer joining you from West Allegheny, from Moon High School for tonight's rivalry matchup in the Allegheny 8 Conference. Some other matchups going on around the conference tonight. Upper St. Clair's at Bethel Park. Our Professor Lanny Terry on the call for that one on the Trib Live Network. Baldwin at Peters Township. Baldwin can play spoiler and give West Allegheny sole possession of the conference title if they're able to come out on top tonight. Char Valley visits Woodland Hills, and of course this game are the 4 conference matchups tonight in the Allegheny 8 Conference.
Have to receive Zimmerman's kickoff for the Indians, number 13.
Looks like there was a bit of some confusion there as to
and number 6.
who or which team is heading in which direction. But nonetheless, Moon will tee it up. Kicker Jake Zimmerman, the junior, will tee it up on their own 40-yard line to our left. Back to receive is Drayvon Baldwin and Dante Flatty for the Indians. Zimmerman's got this one teed up on the right hash. Puts his right arm in the air. The referee blows the whistle. Zimmerman's run up and kick with his right leg will be taken by Baldwin at the 10 on a bounce. 15-20, Drayvon Baldwin makes a couple of men miss, past the 25 to the 30, stumbling his way forward past the 40 to the 45-yard line. A very sizable return to start this one for Drayvon Baldwin. And West A's got some good field position to start this one.
That's an angle here a lot tonight, Jack, on both sides of the ball. Baldwin kick returner on special teams, deep play for a wide receiver, and a pretty good defensive back as well. He really won the game for West Allegheny with a kickoff return against Woodland Hills and puts the Indians in pretty good field position to start this one in Week 9.
The quarterback under center is Cam Cruz. One back look, Dante Flatty. Ball on the 46, first down and 10. The man in motion is Guilfoyle. The give to Flatty on 1st and 10 is stood up for a loss of about a yard. Involved on the play there for Moon was Brady Sunday, the outside linebacker. They're going to get him back to the line of scrimmage for a gain of 0. 2nd down and 10 now coming up for West A.
Again, I'm sorry. 2nd down and 10.
Cam Cruz, the quarterback, now comes out in the shotgun. Bunch receivers to the far side of the field. One receiver out wide. Now sending Dante Flatty from his sidecar to out wide left. Pump fake for Cruz. Now he'll run forward for a couple of yards. A gain of about 3 or 4 on second down. That'll bring up a third down.
Cam Cruz, the ball carrier.
And about 7. They're going to mark him down at the 49-yard line for a gain of 3. Third down and 7. 10:50 and ticking. Scoreless in the first quarter between West A and Moon. Jack Hillgrove and Joe Smeltzer joining you on this cold and rainy October evening. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Cruz in the gun, a protector to his right. Cruz gets the snap, looking right, throws right, and this pass is batted away at the line of scrimmage by Moon. Dobbins, the sophomore, Dalton Dobbins, coming off of that left defensive end position, batted that one away, and West Allegheny will punt. 3 and out to start its first possession.
That's what Moon wanted. West Allegheny, very good offensive football team, and Moon didn't want to give the Indians, who are already favored, any more reason to feel good about themselves, and they didn't on that first drive. West Allegheny only gaining 3 yards of offense.
Gavin Miller to punt. 2 returners back for Moon. 1 stands about the 25, 1 back at the 10. Miller's punt is high, and Dean will let it bounce at the 15. It'll take a West A bounce inside the 15, inside the 10, to about the 8-yard line where Connor Stout will down it. And the Tigers will face the long field challenge to start its first offensive possession, led tonight by a freshman at quarterback for Moon, Ty McGowan, who on the season only has 9 yards passing, 1 interception. Dante Clay last week heading down in an injury against Woodland Hills.
That was just a bad night for the Tigers all the way around.
Falling in that one was Moon to Woodland Hills, 20-10 as a penalty marker comes in early to start this one, not the start that Moon wanted if this one goes against them.
Looks like they'll get Moon on a false start.
Already?
Not a false start, excuse me.
Tigers, too many men in the field.
Too many men. Wow, that was unexpected. We don't really have anything to indicate how many men were on the field exactly, but it's called nonetheless.
So McGowan shotgun. The lefty will roll to his left and run. And he stood up there for virtually no gain. Logan Rosseye, Ian McBain in on the stop. He'll bring up a second down and 14 from the 4. As the too many men on the field penalty was half the distance to the goal.
Ball is being placed at the 6-yard line.
They're going to get him for a gain of 2, so it'll be second down and 12. Shotgun protector to the right, 2 receivers split up to the near side of the field, and it's a handoff to the running back Littlejohn, excuse me. He'll go forward for a couple of more yards. Me and McBain on the stop. Gain of about 2. It'll bring up third down and 10 to the original line of scrimmage at the 8-yard line as Moon goes quick, no huddle here. McGowan, shotgun, empty set. 2 receivers split out each way, and H-back offset to the left. Now McGowan changes the play at the line of scrimmage.
I'm behind you. I'm up top.
Long count. 8:53 to go. McGowan back to pass. Throws left, has a man open over the middle, and it's caught. For a first down.
McGowan's pass is complete to Tanner.
Christian Tanner.
Down by number 2,
7 receptions for 82 yards. Logan Scheider takes him down. Moon moves his chains.
That was a pretty good toss by Sean McGowan. Moon not expected to pass as much with the backup freshman quarterback, but that's a pretty good first impression against your rival in West Allegheny.
First down and 10, ball at the 28-yard line of Moon. We're scoreless with 8:38 to go in quarter number 1. Jet sweep handoff. Here comes Sunday to the 35-yard line. Or that's Littlejohn, I apologize. Jamal Littlejohn, the junior, 185 pound, 5'7", 221 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns on the season for Littlejohn. His counterpart, Brady Sunday, 275 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Quite the 1-2 punch for Moon at running back. Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2, ball on the 36-yard line. McGowan will hand the ball off to Littlejohn, and he'll get a couple of more yards. About 1 actually, up to the 37.
Cruz on the tackle.
Oh, they're going to give him the first down. The chains move up to the 40-yard line. First down, Moon. 7:59 to go. We're scoreless as Moon is driving down the field. Shotgun, McGowan. Hand the ball off. This time, it's Brady Sunday. And Sunday will get about 2 yards to the 40, 2nd down and 8 coming up. Nick Falk in on the tackle for West Allegheny.
Play brings up 2nd down and 7 for the Tigers on room 31-yard line.
Ty McGowan, the freshman, 145 pounds, 5'6", in the gun. Protector to his right, trips to the wide side left. Throws left, tries to throw left, and fumbles.
Now fumbles, recovers his own fumble.
And Ike Longstreth in there on defense takes him down. That's just a simple fact that it's wet out here and he just lost a grip on the ball.
He's not wearing gloves either. McGowan is not wearing gloves, and I don't really know why you wouldn't be in this situation, but it might have cost him there.
Loss of 7. 3rd down and 17. Back at the 30. Quite fortunate for the Indians. Shotgun again for Moon. Trips to the left. 1 receiver to the right. Pump fake, and McGowan will keep. And he'll get past the 35 to the 36.
Brought down by Cruz.
And Cam Cruz, his counterpart quarterback, will take him down. Flag back.
I think that's what it is.
At the 30.
Holding on the Tigers.
On Moon. We'll back them up to the 20-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and a 27 now.
Ball's being placed at the Tigers' 20-yard line. It'll still be 3rd down and a long way to go.
6:25 to go in quarter number 1. Moon nothing. West A nothing. Trips to the left. Handoff. Here comes Sunday. And he gets a couple of more yards past the 25 where Mateo Vandamia takes him down. And the Moon punt team will surely come on the field after that one.
Rolls. 4th down.
Young on the punt. 5:50 to go in the first quarter. Baldwin stands at his own 45. Young's punt is high. And Baldwin will take it to 45 and take up to the 50 for a couple of more yards. So that was Kyle Guilfoyle, I apologize. And it'll be 1st down and 10 at midfield for West A. My vision is kind of impaired, folks. I'm wearing a garbage bag to keep dry out here in the elements at Moon High School. Jack Hilgrove and Joe Smeltzer. This is probably the most extreme broadcast conditions any of us have ever faced. Would you agree?
I can't think of anything that would compare.
Oh, we'll have fun, though. Ball at midfield for West A.
Cam Cruz set up as a receiver.
Wildcat. Flatty will fake the jet sweep to Cruz and plow forward past the 45 into Moon territory. The pile pushes towards the 40. That Wildcat, Coach Palco.
Goes for the 1st down.
It very important to the offense.
On the Tigers' 41-yard line.
Dante Flatty carrying the Moon defense for a few more yards. That's really become a staple of Dante and his brother Nico. Both very strong, both very good wrestlers, and they don't go down easily.
That they do not. 4:58 to go. Flatty got 9 on the keeper. First quarter. Trips to the wide side right. Cruz in the gun. Nico Flatty the sidecar. Pumps right. Here comes Cruz. Stutter steps past the 40 to the 35-yard line. Cam Cruz fumbled, and Moon has recovered. Wow. From my vantage point, Joe, it didn't even look like he lost the ball, but I guess he did.
We got first and 10 for the Tigers on their own 36-yard line.
Well, Moon will take over on its own 36. That's very fortunate for the Tigers.
Very fortunate. Malcolm Johnson, the senior defensive back, making that recovery. 21 tackles on the season, and that's just a solid play by Moon defensively, hitting Cam Cruz, and maybe the weather played a factor in the ball coming loose, but in any case, that's a big break for the Tigers.
McGowan will hand it off to Little John towards the line of scrimmage, and he won't get much more.
Nico Flatty and number 75, Logan Rossi. Either one on a play brings up 2nd and 9 for the Tigers on their own 37-yard line.
2nd down and 9 for Moon after the turnover. Shotgun for McGowan. And Sunday will carry and explode through a hole. Past the 45 into West A territory, past midfield. And that's a first down. Sunday seemed to attack that hole with some vengeance. And they're going to mark him down at the 49-yard line in West A territory. First down Tigers. 4 minutes to go in quarter number 1. Shotgun for McGowan, the freshman. H-back offset to the right. He'll hand to his sidecar left. Sunday again. Bounces it outside past the 45 to about the 43-yard line for a gain of 6. 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, Moon continuing to kind of pound the rock there with James Littlejohn. Him and Brady Sunday both, as you mentioned, Jack, have been pretty effective in the Moon backfield, and they're going to need to run the football with McGowan, the inexperienced quarterback, if they want to move the ball against this West State defense.
2nd down and 4. Shotgun. Here comes Sunday again. First down past the 40, or the 39 into the 35-yard line. And Sunday on the season, 275 yards rush, 3 touchdowns. The leading rusher for the Tigers, showing why. With 3:33 to go in quarter number 1 as we're scoreless, but Moon at the West State 35 looking to strike first. Shotgun for the freshman McGowan. He'll run and be brought down for no gain by Nico Vandamia.
Lost on the leg, play 3 yards.
Yeah, I didn't really see who got the tackle there, Jack, but I could tell by the motion and bringing him down with one hand that was Mateo Vandamia on that tackle. There aren't a lot of guys who are able to do that, especially in high school, but Vandamia is one of those guys, just a man among boys out there at
Multiple
times.
Division I offers has Mateo Vandamia. 2nd down and 13, a loss of 3. Shotgun again for Moon. Hand off to Sunday. Breaks tackles past the 30. Near the line to gain, the 25. Not sure if he got there. Looks like he's about a yard or 2 short. Nonetheless, it's a tremendous run. Ian McBain on the tackle.
3rd down and 1.
They're going to mark him down a yard short of the line to gain. 3rd down and 1. 2:20 to go in quarter number 1. Moon nothing, West A nothing. Shotgun for McGowan. Protector to his left, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff to Sunday. And he's near the first down marker.
Down by Vandamia and McBain.
Not sure if he got there. Might have to call in the measuring team for this one. They marked the ball right at the 25-yard line as we await the official ruling.
In any case, Bird's offense is going to stay on the field. There's no reason not to in this situation. They have absolutely nothing to lose, having already been eliminated from the playoffs on Week 9.
4th down in the nose of the ball. McGowan goes under center. The lines are stacked. And Moon calls timeout. Head coach Ryan Lynn wanted to talk over some strategy there on 4th down and extremely short with 1:18 to go in quarter number 1. Scoreless at Tiger Stadium. In the cold and the rain. Not letting that affect 2 aspiring broadcasters, however. As we're out here doing what we enjoy despite the extreme conditions.
Yeah, my hands are red.
Mine are as well. This garbage bag is doing a little bit of wonders for me, but my pants are soaked. Well, sitting on the wet bleachers. But at this point, there's really nothing much I can do about it. So we're just going to roll with the punches and do the best we can to call this action. 4th down and 1. McGowan under center again. Offset eye to the left. 1 back look. Pitch play. Sunday. Going towards the 1st down marker. West A doesn't say that they have it.
Little John, the ball carrier.
And I don't think they do.
The Indians will take over on downs. 1st and 10.
Wow. A tremendous job by the West Allegheny defense to stop. That was Jamal Littlejohn. I apologize. But nonetheless, Mateo Vandera and that front line of West Allegheny did a tremendous job after a turnover of their own to stop this Moon offense.
And I'm really surprised with the play calling there, Jack. I thought there'd be either a quarterback sneak or a run kind of up the gut, but instead they go with a pitch play, and they don't even use Brady Sunday on 4th down. So
especially with how athletic this front line is for West End.
Right, and how big Brady Sunday is.
Shotgun for Nico Flatty in the Wildcat, and he'll get a couple of yards up to his own 30
Nico Flatty, the ball carrier.
for about 4. And that'll probably be the penultimate play of the 1st quarter as we are inside a minute. 2nd down and 7
Ball is placed at the 30-yard line.
at West Allegheny's own 30. Scoreless. If you're just joining us on the West Allegheny Sports Network, happy to be broadcasting this one for you. Ball will be placed at the 29-yard line, 2nd down and 7. 38 ticks to go in quarter number 1. Shotgun for Cruz. He'll run this one by himself. Cruz past the 30 to the 33-yard line. I apologize again. That's Dante Flatty again, or Nico Flatty on the Wildcat. 3rd down and 2.
Ball is placed at the 34-yard line.
Up to the 34-yard line as 15 seconds are left in quarter number 1. Cruz trots out on the field to deliver the play call to his teammates, but with 8 seconds left, that was more than likely the last play of the 1st quarter. As Cruz is just trying to draw Moon off sides. And then I'll end quarter number 1. Moon nothing, West A nothing. Joe, with the conditions outside and this game being scoreless, does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. This is definitely defensive lever, but I think as the game goes along, West Allegheny's always been known for being a ground and pound team, and although Cam Cruz does throw the football a decent amount, I think West A still identifies as a team that gets its yardage through the ground with the Flatty brothers. Paul Newton has come on lately, and even Cam Cruz himself is a very good running quarterback. So I think that this lever suits West Allegheny's offensive game plan. It might have a bit of an effect on the deep ball with Trayvon Baldwin, but overall, I think West Allegheny has the personnel to excel in these type of conditions offensively.
The clock resets as the 2nd quarter gets ready to take place. Jack Hilgrove and Joe Smeltzer joining you. West A flips the field. 3rd down and 2.
Interesting to see. Looks like they're going to be set up in the shotgun on a 3rd and 2. What they've been running the Wildcat and the I formation for most of the game.
As we await the official start of quarter number 2, the rain and the wind picking up here a little bit. It's okay. We're troopers, aren't we, Joe?
We do what we can.
We do what we can. Your glasses are pretty dry right now. How's your visit? How's your vision?
It's okay.
Okay, that's good.
Probably better than yours still.
Oh,
But
all right. Well, what's rule number 1? Don't show up your partner on broadcast. What'd you just do?
I'm not showing you up. I'm kind of. Well, let's face it. I mean, we can't see you right now, but you're kind of obstructed.
It's true.
That's nothing to do with you. It's just a situation.
That is just a situation. I am wearing a garbage bag over my head. As the officials are trying to sort out whatever it is that they're trying to sort out on 3rd down and 2 before the second quarter starts. West Allegheny having time to talk things over in their huddle about how they want to attack this 3rd down and 2 play. Vinny Staub, Logan Rossai, Trent Stalling, Shea Downing, and Michael Baker are the starting offensive linemen as both teams will head to the sideline. Coach Bob Palco discussing some things. His 24th and final season as the man in charge. Kim Nibala will take over next season. But, you know, with Coach Nibala, you know, with the program the last several seasons, I think it's safe to say that this program's still in good hands after Coach Palco departs.
Absolutely. I think that Kim Nibala, one, is a great football guy, great player, football and basketball player at Blackhawk, and then had an outstanding collegiate career at Clarion. I think he's been with the program this is 4th season now. He's been here long enough to know what the standard of West Allegheny is, and the tradition will be quite smooth, especially since both coaches are co-head coaches this year.
Kind of making the transition a bit smoother for Coach Nibala to take over next year, both being co-head coaches, sharing some responsibility. As again, we're trying to figure out head coach Ryan Lynn, a Bob Palco associate a couple of seasons ago, joins head referee Wayne Mattis at the middle of the field, or at the 25-yard line, to discuss some things. Trying to figure out what the heck is going on. As the second quarter hasn't even started yet. I honestly, Joe, I don't even know what to say right now. It's cold, it's raining, and there's a stoppage of play for whatever reason it is. I'm wet, you're wet. Your jeans were blue when I picked you up at the dorm earlier. Now they're pretty much black. Your prep is drenched, my prep is drenched. Yikes.
Yeah, this is Western VA.
All right, here comes some more wind. If you were able to pick that up on our mics. Not ideal by any means.
Not quite sure what this stoppage is about. It seems every game there's a stoppage, and I'm not sure what it's about. So that's one thing that's remained the same throughout my years of watching high school football.
Yes, always a stoppage or two that you're good for that, you know, in theory doesn't make a lot of sense. Because, and I'm not really one to complain, but this is about the last thing that we need right now is this long stoppage of play with the conditions that we're facing. Okay. So now the teams take the field on 3rd down and 2 for West A. And the referee blows the whistle and we're ready to go. Ball on the own 35 for West A. Cruz in the gun, 3rd down and 2. No, it's Nico Flatty on the Wildcat. And he'll plow forward. The second effort gets him to the line to gain. Is it enough?
Tackled by Dean.
I believe so. Yes, the chains flip to 1st down. And they move, so it'll be 1st down for West A.
Looks like that was enough for him.
That's what they needed. A nice block by the fullback in McBain. Nico Flatty using that wrestler strength to gain a few more yards, and West A's offense finally has something going. Looks like they're starting to move the ball against this moved defense.
Both Flatties, tremendous wrestlers, transfers from Ringgold High School. 1st down and 10. 11:35 to go in quarter number 2. This time it's Dante Flatty in the Wildcat. Plows forward off left guard. And gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it.
32 made the first contact. That was Ryan Mason.
We're getting back to the line of scrimmage for a gain of nothing. 2nd down and 10 on their own 48. West Allegheny has it. Well, they're on 38 rather, excuse me. 11 minutes to go in the half. Cruz under center. One back look. Man in motion is Guilfoyle from right to left. Play action fake. Cruz in trouble. Steps up in the pocket, avoids a sack. Pump fakes, and now he has room to run. Cam Cruz stiff arms a tackler past the 40-yard line. Are you kidding me, Cam Cruz? With a tremendous display of athleticism, simply just throwing Jeremiah Dean to the ground on a stiff arm and completely evading the defensive end, Dalton Dobbins, on the sack. His dad's a Marine. He's a tremendous athlete, and Joey showed it right there, didn't he?
Absolutely. You usually see those type of stiff arms from Mateo Vandemia, but how about the quarterback playing like a linebacker really there? And I have to apologize to Jeremiah Dean, but that happens sometimes.
It does. Now he's back to pass. Pumps right, looks left. Has a man down the field, and it's pulled in far sideline. Nico Flatty into Moon territory to the 25-yard line. 1st down, Indians.
1st and 10 for the Indians.
I thought this would be a game where West A would rely on the run, but they're just throwing a deep pass. Nico and Dante Flatty, both good patch casters, and we see both of them set up a wide receiver, and that's the case where Nico Flatty in the right place at the right time. Cam Cruz puts it right on the money, and West Allegheny approaching the red zone of Moon.
Cam Cruz has the arm strength. He showed it there. Pistol now. 2 receivers to the right. Hand off to Dante, and Dante through a gap into the red zone, past the 20-yard line to about the 18-yard line comes Dante Flatty, the senior, on 1st down. 9 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the half. West A looking to draw first blood. Tiger blood. Now over there to our left, Joe, I see a Kona ice truck. Shaved ice, which
I was thinking about that earlier. That is just... that's absurd.
It is absurd that in this weather, but Tiger blood, it's like a combination of cherry and pina colada. It's the best flavor that they have. Shotgun snap for Cruz. He'll hand it off to Flatty, and he'll be stood up at the 20-yard line for a loss of 1, maybe 2. Christian Tanner and Jake Cunningham on the stop for Moon. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 for West A. At the 20.
It's a big play for Moon. West A is theoretically in field goal range, but ever since DJ Upsadnik, maybe the best kicker in the history of Pennsylvania high school football, graduated 2 years ago, special teams have been a struggle for West A at times.
3rd down and 2. Shotgun for Cruz. He'll roll right. In trouble, and he stood up behind the 20-yard line. Brought down there, tremendous job by Brady Sunday. And Dalton Dobbins as well. That'll bring up a 4th down and 3. And Coach Palco, Coach Ibala, aggressive. You'd have to more than likely see this team go for it, and they will, as Cruz gets the play from the sideline. 4th down and 4.
I've not seen Trevon Baldwin Jack do anything in the passing game. Let's see if they go to him here on a short pass.
Shotgun for Cruz. He's back. And this one is nowhere to be found. Looking for Mateo Vandamia on the slant. That was extremely too far for him. And that's the second time that the first time for West A, second time this game that a team has been stopped on 4th down. And we are still scoreless with 7:08 to go in the half. And you have to think, Joe, that one probably just got away from Cam.
Yeah, it got away from him, but at the same time, as much as Cam Cruz has improved, his accuracy can still be an issue. Sometimes he throws the ball in the wrong vicinity. Sometimes he would overthrow a receiver. And I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a lever, but his accuracy has been an issue at times.
Flag comes in from the near sideline. Plays whistled dead, and that's a false start. So
false start on the Tigers.
It's second penalty on offense this game. They'll back them up to the 16-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15 for Moon. John Nusatelli, Mario Bolden, Anthony Parsons, Sean Hitler, and Brendan Luffy are the starting offensive linemen for Moon. 1st down and 15. Empty set for the freshman McGowan. The lefty in trouble, and he just throws this one away as Nick Falk had the heat in the freshman's kitchen. That'll bring up 2nd down and 15. 7:03 to go. It's scoreless, and I'm not surprised. I don't think Joe's surprised either. Yikes. 2nd down and 15 on their own 16 in quarter number 2. Shotgun now for McGowan. Protector to his right and Littlejohn. 2 receivers split out each way. Littlejohn gets the call, and he'll get not past the line of scrimmage, to the line of scrimmage. 4-0. 3rd down and 15 at their own 16-yard line. Ian McBain on the stop. He'll come out of the game, and in comes a substitution for him. Braden Horton. This 3-4 front, Vandamia, Falk, and Staub. West A brings 3. And the reception, Pat Mack. The 3rd is stood up by Ike Longstreth. And that'll bring up 4th down. Longstreth lost some time due to injury. Had a 2-point conversion catch, listed as a primary tight end, but seen some time on defense tonight. Comes up big there for West A.
Yeah, absolutely. Ike Longstreth, brother Dustin Longstreth, was a member of West A's last WPIAL championship team 2 years ago. He's a hard worker. He blocks very well as a tight end. Just a hard-nosed football player, and makes a big play there to get West A the ball back.
Young fields the low snap. He'll get it away to Kyle Guilfoyle. And this one will bounce at the 40 to the near sideline at the 37-yard line. And this one's down by Moon, and West A will take over with 5:33 to go in the half. As this one is scoreless.
37-yard line.
I apologize if you can hear my garbage bag ruffling around.
Whoever scores first is going to be in a pretty good position to win this football game.
I agree, Joe. And while many would consider
we have a silver truck.
West Allegheny the more talented team, if Moon scores first with the way that things are going and the way that Moon beat this team last year, you'd have to think that Moon would have the advantage.
Yeah, records, the quality of the teams overall kind of go out the window in weather conditions such as this.
Power eye for Cruz. He'll hand it off left tackle to Dante Flatty. Makes one man miss up to the 40-yard line.
Dante Flatty, the ball carrier.
Moving it from right hash to left hash. Littlejohn takes him down for a gain of about 3. 2nd down and 7.
Gain of 4 in the play brings up 2nd and 6 for the Indians on their own 41-yard line.
Well, they're going to take it up to the 41-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. 4:55 to go in the first half. Man in motion in the shotgun. Cruz on the jet sweep will give to Baldwin. Baldwin makes one man miss, tries to hurdle another one. Jeremiah Dean. And he takes him down. They're going to get Baldwin up to the 42-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5 with 4:30 to go in the half. Scoreless at Moon Tiger Stadium.
And I grimaced when I saw that because hurdling is very dangerous, and Javon Baldwin is lucky he didn't land on his head or anything like that. Kenny White, former West Side running back, had a similar tried a similar hurdle in the WPIAL championship game 2 years ago. Ended up landing on his head and got knocked out of the game. So scary situation with hurdling, and thankfully nothing went awry there.
Shotgun for Cruz, and this play's whistle dead. West A calls timeout. 3:58 to go in the half.
Timeout, West A.
It's easier, Dakota, the leader here of the West A Sports Network, if I stand. I just figured that out. Joe, you just stood up too.
Park behind the field house.
A little bit better?
License
Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but
please move your truck or you'll
it's
be
better than it was.
Yeah, I agree. So 3:58 to go in the first half. It's Moon nothing and West A nothing. And it's cold and rainy. And this is just a hard-nosed defensive battle of a football game. I can't see things changing drastically as we head into halftime, into half number 2. So like Mr. Smeltzer previously alluded, the first team to score will more than likely come out on top in this one.
My prep is just absolutely hilarious right now. Your prep is covered, mine is not covered.
Yeah, it's a shame. I've used this spotter board creation that a classmate of mine, Dylan Cleland, invented. And I had to duct tape, so the way I put my charts in here with binder sleeves, and I can change them in and out, but I had to duct tape it shut so I couldn't get them wet. And I think this might have to rest in peace after this one because it's completely soaked. 3rd down and 5, shotgun for Cruz. He gets a check with me from the sideline. Protector to his right will be Nico Flatty. Now he'll shift to the right. Trips to the wide side left. Cruz back to throw, juggles the snap, but has it, and has a man over the middle. Kyle Guilfoyle into Moon territory, past midfield to the 47-yard line. 1st down, Indians.
That's a textbook slant route there. Kyle Guilfoyle, not a lot of size to him, under 6 foot, but he just kind of goes over the middle, and Cruz puts it right on the money. And that slant route with Guilfoyle is a pretty dangerous weapon for West Allegheny.
1st down and 10 at the Moon 47. 3:37 to go in the half. Shotgun for Cruz. Trips to the left. Sidecar right. Screen pass a little too high for Paul Newton. Thankfully for West A, it was a forward pass, and I'll bring up 2nd down.
Little John getting pressure on Cam Cruz there. Really gave Cruz no choice but to rush his pass, and that's what led to that incompletion.
2nd down and 10, 3:29 to go in the half. The ball on the 47 of Moon. No score. 2 receivers to the left, slot to the wide side left. Shotgun for Cruz. He's back. Screen pass near side. Nico Flatty has it with blockers and a hole. Past the 30. To the 25 comes Nico Flatty, and West Allegheny pushing him forward towards the 20. Gain of almost about 25 yards on that screen pass. And Joe, if you want to throw the ball in this weather, slant routes and screen passes are your best friend. Well, I mean, maybe not, because we saw Nico Flatty have a long catch on the sideline a couple of plays ago, but slant routes and screen passes.
Absolutely. Javon Baldwin has not really been a factor tonight offensively, and that's largely because the deep route is, for the most part, eliminated due to these conditions.
Shotgun again, Wildcat now. Dante Flatty will take the snap. He'll run right, and he's tripped up on the play by
Flat-footed ball carrier, brought down by number 23, Malcolm Johnson.
Malcolm Johnson, the cornerback, with 2:43 to go in the half. I can barely move my knuckles.
At least you're not holding a microphone.
That is true. Oh, there goes my garbage bag. I can't see. Shotgun, now I can see. Front to the wide side left. 2 receivers bunched to the near sideline. Cruz is back. Pumps once. Throws left. And that is past the intended receiver, Baldwin, but a flag comes in. Pass interference, perhaps.
Yeah, looks like they might get Jeremiah Dean for interference. Pass was uncatchable, but that doesn't really
There is no such thing as an uncatchable pass in high school football. The wind is again picking up. This isn't as bad as a rainfall at our game a couple of weeks ago at Upper St. Clair.
We were in the press box.
But we were in the press box, so that didn't affect us too bad.
It wasn't cold.
And yeah, you're right, it wasn't borderline freezing. They're going to move this one.
That's at half the distance to the penalty to goal.
First down for West A. They're going to move this one all the way up to the
West A on Tigers.
the 12-yard line, they'll call it. Ball's placed on the right hash. West A looking for its first score. Cruz in the gun. Slot to the wide side left. Protector to Cruz's right and Dante Flatty. Cruz takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll run for himself. Lowering the shoulder inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Dobbins makes the stop. That'll bring up a second down and about 6 from the 8-yard line. With 1:50 to go. And if West A plays its cards right, they could score before halftime and have it be the last sequence of plays with 1:38 and ticking. Moon has 2 timeouts remaining.
But this isn't a game where you're going to be able to score very quickly.
No, it won't be. 1:25 to go. Shotgun again for Cruz. He'll throw. Screen pass, Nico Flatty. Inside the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2. And he gets to the pylon. Seems like he was in, but a flag comes in from the near sideline. This is probably going to be holding. Yes, holding on West Allegheny will back them up to the 17-yard line. Second down and 15 now. That's just an absolute drive killer for West A.
It is, and looks like they got somebody from the right side of that West Allegheny defensive line as they open the shield for Nico Flatty.
They're going to back this one up to the 22. It'll be second down and 20. With 1:16 to go, West A, while being backed up a little bit, has more time left to kill the clock before halftime. Shotgun for Cruz. He's back to throw. Throws towards the end zone. Baldwin, and it's overthrown. And Drayvon Baldwin had a step or two on Malcolm Johnson. But as you said, Joe, Cruz tending to overthrow some of his targets, and we saw it there.
Yeah, he's overthrowing his number 1 target, and we've seen twice on this drive now Cam Cruz try to hit Baldwin for a deep touchdown, but it just hasn't worked. The passes have been nowhere close, and those passes will happen sometimes, and all you can do is move on to the next play. But that holding penalty is really killer for West Allegheny.
Third down and 20, 1:12 to go in the half. Shotgun for Cruz. He's back. He'll throw into and out of the hands of Cal Guilfoyle on the wrong, or the far side, excuse me. 4th down and 20. And this would be a 37-yard field goal for John McArdle, who leads the WPIAL he is the most in 5A, tied for second in the WPIAL with 6 field goals. But Cam Cruz is going to trot out, and they're going to go for it with 1:08 to go. Shotgun for Cruz, 4th and 20. He'll throw. Has time, no he doesn't. He's going to be sacked back to the 35-yard line. And with 1:01 to go, Moon has 65 yards to try and put some points on the board before halftime.
Big Brendan Luffy in on that stop for Moon.
1:01 to go in half number 1. Joe Smeltzer will have play-by-play at half number 2 with a lot of prep that's readable.
Yeah, I'm never going to ask this again, but can I look off your spotter boards?
You know, Joe,
I'm
with the circumstances, again, if you could see what his prep looks like right now, it's just unfortunate for a broadcaster. Yes, Joe, you can use my spotter boards. Wildcat for Moon, and taking it on the direct snap
Makes the ball carrier.
is Snyder, and
Third down. Loss on a play.
that will more than likely be the end of half number 1 as 37 seconds are left. Moon not really doing much to advance the ball down the field. My wallet's pretty soaked right now as well. I just pulled that out of my pocket. Jeez. 22 seconds and ticking. McGowan in the gun. He'll plow forward.
Little John the ball carrier.
That's Little John on the Wildcat. And with 8 seconds to go, 7, 6, 5, 4. That will be the end of the first half. If you're just joining us, you haven't really missed much. We're scoreless. We're going to take a 20-minute timeout, watch the bands perform at Tiger Stadium. The score heading into halftime, Moon nothing and West Allegheny nothing. Joe Smeltzer will be back in half number 2 with play-by-play. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Moon High School's Tiger Stadium for this Week 9 Allegheny 8 matchup between the West Allegheny Indians and the Moon Tigers. We're starting the second half. No score. Not a lot to report. I'd say Joe Smeltzer joined with Jack Hillgrove. Jack, I'd say that if this was an NFL game, this would be one of the cases where they just show a blank screen on the halftime highlight film.
Yeah, because it really wasn't much that happened. A long pass to Nico Flatty, and a couple of missed conversions on 4th down.
John McArdle kicking off for West Allegheny, and it's a short kick fielded at about the 30-yard line by Moon.
Hazel catches it and down immediately.
So Moon will take over at their own 30-yard line. Own 26 rather, around the 30-yard line.
I got a fresh plastic bag on my head for half number 2, so we're ready.
Moon taking over. McGowan at quarterback with a sidecar, 2 receivers each side. McGowan is back. He's looking. Can't find anything downfield. He'll fire it incomplete. Ball bounces it around the 30-yard line. Intended receiver is Pat Mack, and now set up a 2nd and 10.
Tremendous job by the front 7 of West Allegheny to get in the grill of the freshman quarterback starting tonight in his first career start. Just a tremendous job up front by West Allegheny, especially given the conditions outside, to still find the speed, the adrenaline to work things out.
Vendamia, Falk, and Rossi leading the charge on the front for West A. As that's a snap give to Mr. Brady Sunday for Moon. Or that's Little John, excuse me. Nico Flatty wrapping him up from behind. Gains about 4 or 5. And that'll set up a second and about 6 for Moon. Ty McGowan making his first career start, as you mentioned, Jack. Starting in place of the regular quarterback, junior Dante Clay, who was injured in last week's loss to Moon. A fullback is in, as is the sidecar to McGowan, and McGowan will get the ball off, and running with the football is Little John once again. He trudges along to right around the 43-yard line. It should be enough for a Moon first down, and it will be. And Damian on the tackle, but the tackle for the
first down.
Yeah, if Moon definitely has a dual-headed monster running back Sunday and Little John, and with the rain, with the conditions, keeping the ball on the ground, that certainly has to be going in their favor.
Johnson and Dean are among the receivers. To give us again to Little John. He has a hole up the middle. He breaks a tackle. He's at the 45 in the West Allegheny territory. Brought down by several West Allegheny Indians at around the 43-yard line. It's another first down. Staub and Cruz on the tackle for West A, but the Tigers are in business, moving the chains once again.
And Joe, what I'm most impressed with from these Moon running backs, both Sunday and Little John, when they find a gap, when they hit the block, it's with explosive speed and just hard-nosed running football. They find the gap in the defense, and they hit the hole hard with speed, with downhill aggression, and that's how Moon's running backs, both Sunday and Little John, have gotten their yards.
First and 10 at the 43 to give. Again, it's to Little John. This time, he has nowhere to go. Vinny Staub among those on the tackle for West Allegheny. That'll be a negative play, I believe, a loss of 2. That'll set up second and 12 at the 45-yard line. And Little John checking out. Brady Sunday, the other running back, checking back in for Moon.
Brady Sunday putting together a couple of very solid runs on a long drive that ended for Moon, turning it over on 4 downs.
Snap, and to give it to Brady Sunday, he'll trudge up the middle, and he'll have a hole, and he's using that 6'1" strength to push forward. He'll be tackled at right around the first down marker. Won't be quite enough for the first down. That'll set up a 3rd down and short for Moon. Ball on the West A 35. Nothing here at Tiger Stadium. Young, Brennan, and another receiver. As to give us again to Brady Sunday, he's going to the near side. This time he'll gain just a few as West State gang tackles Brady Sunday. He will not have enough for the first down. That will be no gain. A little off on my initial spot there, but anyway, not enough for the first down, and Moon has a 4th and short, and the offense is staying on the field. Not even a decision to make here.
And it's kind of hard, Joe. It seems that West A will have something moving on a drive in control, and then either a turnover or a Moon defensive stop halts them. Moon will have something going, and West A will stop them. So it'll be interesting to see here on 4th down and 1 which way it can go.
Give again. This is Sunday. It is dropped, and they had the first down right there. But unfortunately, Moon is unable to convert. Christian Tanner, the senior fullback, nobody was near him. He had it right in his hands. Great play call, but it just doesn't work out, and as a result, West Allegheny takes over. But you have to credit Ryan Lynn for the creativity there.
Yeah, props to Ryan Lynn in this slot fest. Moon certainly the underdog. You got to get creative in a game like that, and that's what they did. Tanner just not able to bring the ball in. At his defense, that ball's probably extremely slippery, so can't really blame the kid.
So Ken Kurtz back out, gives to Dante Flatty, and Flatty has not a lot of room to run. He'll get 2 or 3 yards on that play. And that'll set up a second and about 7 from around the 37 of West Allegheny.
This clock moving very swiftly, and quarter number 3.
Second down and 7.
What's that, Joe?
Knock on wood. It's a rule of thumb not to really comment on the time.
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
true.
superstitious.
Yeah, no,
But
especially in some cases, I am superstitious. So pretend I didn't say that.
2nd and 7 at the West State 37. Baldwin and Guilfoyle on the near side of Camp Cruz. No receivers to the far side. Looks like that's Paul Newton in that tailback for West State. And that's a fake, and Camp Cruz is going to run 2 up the far side, and he'll be tackled at right around the 47, or the 43-yard line of West Allegheny. Gain of a few, not enough for the first down. That'll set up a 3rd down and 3. 32 on the correction ball on the 42 of West Allegheny. Nothing here. West State trying to crack the scoreboard. As we mentioned, Jack, whoever scores first will be in pretty good shape. As Guilfoyle and Baldwin again are the receivers to the near side, none to the far side. 2 tailback and a fullback. The fullback is Van Damia, and the pitch will go to Nico Flatty. Flatty running up that near sideline, and he'll be hit hard. And Flatty jawing with Jeremiah Dean there of Moon. He gains a few, and enough for the first down, in fact, for West Allegheny.
Yeah, you got to credit offensive coordinator, head coach Bob Palco for West Allegheny. This offense is so complex, and these players for West State able to run that with ease. You see option plays as you did there, wildcat, a shotgun formation, power eye. So a plethora of play designs for West Allegheny, able to throw this Moon team off and able to throw teams off all season. And these West State players, thrown with everything thrown at them, able to handle it. And then also Nico Flatty was hit hard on that play, Joe, as you said, and he popped right up and went back with his team. So we heard that collision from up here in the bleachers, and for Flatty to able to just pop right back up from, I think it was a helmet-to-helmet collision. At least that's what it sounded like, helmet to shoulder pad, what have you. It just shows how tough both him and his brother Dante are, both wrestlers. Just a tremendous breed of football player, if that's pretty much how I can say it.
And West State, good news, has Nico Flatty for 2 more years. Dante will be graduating after this season. Nico Flatty got kind of thrown into the fire last year against Upper St. Clair in Week 7, made his first start, and did quite well for West State, unfortunately in a losing effort. His brother Dante was injured and lost for the season with a broken collarbone in Week 5 against Kiski. As we're ready to begin, Baldwin all alone to the near side. Guilfoyle and Scheider out to the far side. Nico Flatty is in at tailback. That's Dante Flatty, excuse me. And the fake is to Dante Flatty. And Camp Cruz has room to run. And he'll be brought down at around the 39-yard line for West Allegheny. Young and Brady Sunday on the tackle. That's a gain of 9 right around the first down marker. That'll set up a 2nd and 1 for West State, now in Moon territory. West State taking its time, no need to rush. Tie score, about 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. They break the huddle. Baldwin once again is all alone on the near side. Guarding Baldwin is Malcolm Johnson. No other receivers, Guilfoyle in the slot. As play action fake, it's Dante Flatty. Cruz works the rush. He's going deep, and he has Baldwin, and he didn't have Baldwin. Ball was close. Baldwin clamoring for a pass interference call. He will not get it. That sets up a 3rd down and 1. Bit of a gutsy call there, Jack, on 2nd and short for West Allegheny to go with the deep ball.
Yeah, interesting, but good news is you have 2 more plays. At least you know that Coach Balco will probably go for it on 3rd and short, or 4th and short if it comes to that. But Drayvon Baldwin was open on that play, and just couldn't find the ball, couldn't catch it. But in this weather, throwing the ball deep, just doesn't seem like a realistic solution to scoring.
Let's say in the Wildcat, Camp Cruz now set up as a receiver on the far side. Dante Flatty takes a direct snap, and he is not going to get the first down. That's a risk when you set up a few yards back. and Jeremiah Dean does a great job of tackling Flatty by the ankles. Flatty loses 2 yards on the play, and that sets up a 4th down, and now Gavin Miller is on the punt for West Allegheny, and a promising drive stalls for the Indians.
And that's how it's been, not only for the Indians, but for the Tigers. Promising drives are halted. Come to a screeching halt for both teams. The momentum seems to shift towards one way, and the brakes are just put on, either just a tremendous effort on the defense or a turnover. And you got to give Moon's defense credit there. They allowed the brakes to be put on, and now they get the ball back after this punt.
And that punt will be down at right around the 13-yard line. Mike Longshot downs the punt, and that's where Moon will take over. Ball at the 19, not the 13. Moon has 81 yards to drive, 5:05 to go in the 3rd quarter to draw first blood. Offense hasn't really moved the ball, didn't really move the ball until that last possession when Little John and Sunday kind of flexed their muscles. But both teams unsuccessful on 4th and short attempts, and that's been the story of the second half thus far. 3 receivers in for Moon, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. A fullback is in, that's Christian Tanner. He goes in motion, and the give is to Brady Sunday, and he is met by the West Allegheny defensive front. Logan Rossai leading the charge, and Ian McBain and Cam Cruz kind of getting the leftovers. That's going to be a loss of 2, and it will set up 2nd and 12.
Rossai picking up an offer, a couple offers from West Virginia State and Lake Erie College, both those schools, Division II schools. And a name that we haven't really called a lot this season was Logan Rossai, but showing his power and his physical strength on that front line there on that stop.
3 receiver set again for Moon. Quarterback takes a snap, rolling to the far side, and that pass is incomplete. Diving receiver Tanner not able to come up with it. McGowan's pass behind him, and that sets up a 3rd and long for Moon. 4:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. Moon has the ball deep in its own territory, so if the Indians defense can get a stop, they'll have a pretty good chance to get some pretty good field position on the ensuing possession. As Christian Tanner now out of the game for Moon. Moon using 4 receivers now. McGowan has the sidecar. That's Lil John. McGowan will drop back, has a lot of time. Can't find anything downfield, and he will be swallowed up. Guess who? Mateo Van Damia. Sack on the play, loss of about 7, and now the Tigers will have no choice but to punt deep in their own territory. Jackson Falk also getting in there for West Allegheny.
And that's just Mateo Van Damia doing what Mateo Van Damia does. Enough said.
On the punt for Moon is Logan Young, also a wide receiver for the Tigers. Back to receive at around the 35-yard line is Kyle Guilfoyle. The punt is off, and Guilfoyle will be able to field it. He has at the 35, alerts the tackler up to the 30-yard line, trying to alert some more, and he'll be tackled at around the 32-yard line, and that is where West Allegheny will step up. Dobbins among those on the tackle for Moon, but excellent field possession for West Allegheny.
All right, guys, 30 yards to go. This is the drive where the Indians score. At least get 3 points out of something here. A tremendous return by Kyle Guilfoyle, setting them up in up as prime as a field position as you can get. So West A's offense has to do something here, because if they don't, with this field position, you wonder if they'll be able to do something at all for the remainder of this game.
This is the best starting field position West Allegheny has had. Cam Cruz is now a receiver for West A. West A in that Wildcat formation. Dante Flight takes a direct snap. He's going up the right side. He has room, and he will be tackled at right around the 25-yard line of the Tigers. It's a good run for Flatty. Not enough for the 1st down, but he gains 8. That will set up a 2nd down and 2 at the 22-yard line of Moon.
Ball's on the 22-yard line. The Tigers will be 2nd down and 2.
Logan Young and Jeremiah Dean on the tackle for Moon. Indians one loss in the conference. If they win this game, they will do no worse than a share of the Allegheny 8 conference title. As now, it's Allegheny again taking the snap of Flatty, cruising Baldwin to the far side. Dante Flatty running up the middle, cuts a little bit to his right, and he will be met right around the 18-yard line. He has enough for the first down unless they will keep the chains moving. Jake Cunningham meeting Flatty.
First down for the Indians.
The Indians now in the red zone with a golden chance to strike first. The clock is ticking, 3:13 and counting to play in the third quarter. Again, Cruz setting up, again as a receiver. He is the lone receiver. Draymond Baldwin will be joining him on the far side. No receivers to the near side. Flatty is the quarterback. Ike Longstrap going in motion. He is the fullback, and McBain is the sidecar. Flatty will go up the far side. He has room. He's cutting to the middle of the field. He is up to right around the 5-yard line. Well more than enough for a first down for West A. And the Indians, Jack, knocking on the doorstep.
Yeah, Dante Flatty doing it all himself this drive. And common expression in sports, roll with the hot hand. And right now, Dante Flatty's your hot hand. So the ball's in his hand on this drive with about 6 yards to go. If I was a bet man, I'd be willing to bet the number 6 is getting the ball.
Same formation. Flatty the Wildcat quarterback, McBain his side card. Ike Longstrap in a fullback end. Nice block from McBain. Dante Flatty going up the left side, breaks a tackle, and he is into the end zone. And at last, the Indians have struck, and they lead 6-0 over the Moon Tigers here at a very wet Tiger Stadium late in the third quarter.
And that might have been the only touchdown that West Allegheny has needed, Joe. As I mentioned, Dante Flatty, the hot hand on that drive. Just a tremendous job of hard-nosed running football on the Wildcat. Patiently awaiting to find blockers and scoring from 30 yards out on a few plays.
Cardinals' extra point is up and good. West A now leads 7-0. 2:24 to play in the third quarter. Well, now the only question is really if the West A defense can do what it's been doing for the first roughly 38 minutes of this game.
Yes, and again, if I was a betting man, I'd say yes. This West Allegheny defense has proven game in and game out for all season long that it can excel, especially in the front seven. You saw it multiple times this game with Mateo Vandemio. You saw it with Logan Rossai, Nick Falk as well, invading Moon's backfield, and McBain, Kyle Merritt as well, just hard-nosed football tacklers. And you can't, I don't think Moon will have to throw the ball at all, or if they can, especially with a freshman quarterback in this type of condition. So you'd have to expect them to run the ball. And with this West A front seven, Moon's got a lot of catching up to do if they want to make this one interesting.
Cardinals set again to kick off. Two men are set to receive the kick at around the 15-yard line of Moon. Set to receiver Malcolm Johnson. Jeremiah Dean. It's a bit of a hold up. I'm not quite sure what that is.
The ref is tying
Referee is tying his shoe. Special thanks to our producer Dakota Lamb for that tidbit of information. Cardinal teeing the ball back off. Three men back to receive for Moon.
This Moon Country, or the Moon student section singing Country Road by John Denver. Considering that we're not very close to West Virginia, that's kind of a strange
kick is going to go up, and it'll be a little short fielding at the 20-yard line, out at the 25, to the 30, up the far sideline, and down to the 40, and tackled at right around midfield. A really good return for Malcolm Johnson. Dalton Peluso tackling Johnson, but nonetheless, Moon will be right around midfield at its own 49.
That's the one thing I left out, that Moon could have to get them back in this game, and that's good returns. And Johnson got one right there. Peluso having to drag him down from behind. So the Tigers at midfield with some good field position, so we'll see if they'll be able to capitalize with freshman Mr. McGowan at quarterback.
Ball will be placed right at midfield. 3 receivers bunched, as you see on your screen, to the far side with one tailback. That tailback is Jamal Littlejohn, and he'll get that pitch, and he won't go very far. As a matter of fact, he will lose a yard on that play. Mateo Vandamia once again on the tackle. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11, and Moon has the ball at its 49-yard line.
This West A front 7 just doing themselves as they've done all season. Hard nose, quick first step off the ball, and just plowing through that Moon offensive line.
So Brennan and Pat Mack are the receivers to the far side. Another receiver to the near side. McGowan doesn't have a whole lot of time. Just being rushed by 3 men, and he'll just have to throw it away. Great pressure by Rico Flatty and Nick Falk. Really forcing McGowan to make a rash decision and just throw the ball away to avoid any further risk.
Yeah, that was just, again, a tremendous job by Nico Flatty, sprinting faster than I've seen him sprint at all this game after the quarterback and causing a throwaway.
So we got trip to left, another receiver to the right. McGowan rolling out to his right, and he'll throw the ball, and that will be incomplete off the hands of Pat Mack. Another 3 and out for Moon, and the Tigers will see if they, since they're close to West Allegheny territory, we'll see if they keep the offense out on the field. It looks like the punt team will be coming out for Moon. Sorry for the hesitation in my voice. I just wanted to be sure, but my initial hypothesis there was correct.
That's a great word, hypothesis. It's a science word.
Logan Young punting, and that is a pretty good punt. That will be down. It won't be downed at all. It will go through the end zone. So not as good a result as Moon hoped for, but still good punt by Logan Young, and West A will have to take over at its own 20, looking to add to its 7-0 lead late in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's just a great job by Logan Young to get that ball away. Even though it went into the end zone for a touchback. 80 yards in cold and wet weather is definitely still a tall task. So while you'd like to down that inside the 5, can't be too disappointed that they got that one into the end zone on the punt.
Yeah, you don't have a 30-yard field to work with in most cases. West A fortunate enough to have that great field position on its last possession, which led to its first score of the game. But West A is sticking to what it did on that scoring possession. Cam Cruz and Connor Stout are the receivers to the far side. Dante Flatty, your Wildcat quarterback. And Flatty will take the snap, and he does not have a whole lot of room, but is still able to get to about the 25-yard line. Gains 1 or 2, and now set up about a 2nd and 8 for West A.
Flag comes in late. Could be a holding penalty as it comes in behind the line of scrimmage as we await the official call here.
And also legal in on the tackle.
Personal foul.
Personal foul, wow, on West Allegheny. So that'll push them back.
Flag on the play.
Let's see where they spot it exactly.
Personal foul on West A. 10-yard penalty puts the ball to the 10-yard line, where it will be first and 20.
And the Moon band getting extremely riled up in the end zone where West Allegheny is pinned to.
Why not? They got the Indians pinned back deep. A penalty really took a touchdown off the board for West Allegheny in the first half. And now it could lead to some dangerous situations with West A backed up deep. So 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Cam Cruz back in at quarterback. He'll get the carry. Will only gain.
Down by Dobbins.
It's only going to gain about 1 or 2, if that. And that's still a 2nd and long for West A. Doesn't gain any, as a matter of fact. Clock running down in the third quarter.
Probably the
16
final play of
seconds
the third
and
quarter.
counting. Westlake in no rush with the lead. Might get one more play off, but there's really no reason to. But this formation isn't going to lead to anything. And that'll be the end of the third quarter. So Westlake finally cracks the code of Boone's defense as Dante Flatty getting into the end zone. And Westlake's up 7-0. And really, we were mentioning all night, whoever scores first is going to be in pretty good shape. And Westlake was that team.
Yeah, they were, but this Moon team, you can't count them out. Only 2 wins this season, but they know the stakes. Joe, you called this perhaps a Super Bowl for Moon. They're not going to be in the playoffs this season, so this is it. At home for their seniors, a lot of seniors on this team. They have 12 more minutes, down 7 points to put the exclamation point on their high school career that they can, and that's beating West Allegheny for the last 2 seasons on their home turf. And on the flip side of things, West A, with a little bit of help of Peters Township losing. I'll get you that score momentarily. I apologize not checking it. It's been wet outside, and I don't want my phone to get waterlogged. But I'll check it for you.
I hope mine's okay. I'm charging it behind me.
I think it's covered up, so you should be fine.
Yeah.
We got 1 more quarter left, Joe. We got this.
Yeah, 1 more quarter in the regular season. Moon is really up against it, Jack. I mean, down 7 doesn't seem like a lot, but 7, a 1 touchdown game in these conditions, the way these offenses have been performing, kind of feels like a 2 or a 3 touchdown game.
Peters Township is up 35-0 on Baldwin.
Well, there goes that hope.
As of 12 minutes ago, according to Observer Reporter Sports.
I doubt much has changed. Cam Cruz back in the quarterback for West Allegheny. Nico Flatty in as his sidecar. Baldwin split out, and he's going to go in motion. And he'll fake a snap to Baldwin, and Cruz will push forward. And does not get a lot. In fact, I think he might have lost a yard there. And it's a 3rd and long for West A. Did lose a yard, 3rd and 21. So Logan Scheider coming into the game, Ike Longstreth coming out, kind of switching up a tight end for a wide receiver. West A breaks the huddle. Scheider is in as a receiver. Him and Van Damier are split to the far side. Baldwin, Flatty split, and the give there. Not enough for the first down, needless to say. Cameron Cruz once again. And West A will have to punt. But in that situation, Jack, all West A is really hoping for is don't turn it over.
Right.
So.
And that's just the main focus heading into the final couple offensive possessions that West A will have, pending if they're on top or not. You just can't turn the ball over. And they already did once. Fumble, and it's real easy to fumble in these conditions. So holding on to the ball is key for West A with the lead for the rest of this game.
Ramon Dean to receive for Moon at around the 45-yard line of West Allegheny. Gavin Miller to punt, and that is a very short punt. That'll bounce, takes a West A bounce, but still bounces that right around the 41-yard line of West Allegheny. So Moon's going to take over in West A territory. And kind of a far cry from where the Tigers took over on their last possession.
At the 41-yard line.
2 possessions ago that Moon had the ball back deep in its own territory, ended up punting from its own end zone. Moon takes over. The give is to Lil John, and he'll trudge forward, maybe gets a yard on the play. Not a lot at all. And once again, Nico Flatty is in on that tackle, as is, and this man has played an awesome game, Nick Falk. Falk has been, really, we feel like he's been involved in a lot of plays here for West Allegheny's defensive front.
Inside 10 minutes to go.
Not a lot of time left. They gave Little John 2 yards on that play, so that puts the ball the 39-yard line. 4 receivers in, 2 split to each side. Little John the sidecar for McGowan. McGowan throws a short pass. That is Ramon Dean. He does not get a lot, but there is a flag on the play. As it stands, that's a minuscule gain. We'll see what this flag is. Looks like they're going to get Moon for a hold.
What's your opinion on holding being a 10-yard penalty?
Holding on Tigers.
I think it's okay. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, the reason why I think it's okay too. The reason I ask you is my roommate, Ed Diorio, is under the impression that a 10-yard penalty for a hold is an absolute drive killer. He thinks it'd be more of around 5 yards.
Second and 19 from midfield. McGowan is back, and he will run, and he'll be taken down at right around the 45-yard line. Gains at about 5. Nick Falk once again on the tackle. Mateo Vendamia in as well. So 3rd and long for Moon, and the Tigers are going to have to throw the ball downfield, which neither team has done a very good job of doing tonight.
No. And with this long field challenge inside 9 minutes, you have to think that Moon's got to throw it here with the freshman, so the odds are stacked against him. We'll see. 5 receivers on the field. McGowan is back. He has time. He's going to throw it deep, and that's going to be incomplete, almost intercepted by Drayvon Baldwin. But the pass falls incomplete. Baldwin doing a great job of covering a fellow number 13, being Ramon Dean. That's going to set up 4th down and 14 for Moon. 8:43 to play. Yeah, it's a tremendous job by Drayvon there to play a little bit of corner as well, make a pass deflection. So Baldwin, the senior, playing in his final regular season game. Tremendous job there on corner. Oh, young punch nearly blocked by Logan Rosseye, and he's going to be called. Rosseye knew it, put his hands on his head right there. The question is it roughing or running into the kicker? Well, if it's running into the kicker, it's 5, and I think that's what it's only going to be. Yeah, it didn't look too drastic. Didn't look drastic enough for a personal foul. Yeah, so it's still 4th down. They're going to give him 5 more. 4th and 9. But that might change things for Moon a little bit. Would you go for it on 4th and 9 as opposed from 4th and 14? On a normal night, I consider it, but with a freshman quarterback with these conditions, I'm not sure I'd take that chance. There's 8:39 left. The defense has been playing very well. Still enough time for the offense to have another crack at it, so I would play it safe and go with the punt, and that's what it looks like Moon is going to do. Logan Young, the punt for Moon. Nobody really back deep for West Allegheny. Is there? Oh, wow. Perhaps looking for a touchback. And not an ideal result for Moon. That is a shanked punt. And that, running into the kicker penalty, actually worked out pretty well for West Allegheny. Yeah, it's extremely ironic. Joe, I think you might have been able to kick that one a little bit farther than... I don't know about that. But things happen, especially with a wet ball. Cold feet. My feet are freezing. I'm sure the guys mine are pretty bad. Well, the guys in the field are probably the same way, so good for West A. They have pretty solid field position, 8 minutes, 33 seconds to go. Try and put some more time off this clock, perhaps. If they're able to score and chew up about half the clock, I'd say this one's all but over. And even if they get a touchdown, make it 2 possessions, 14 points, I'd say it's all but over as well. Cruz and Baldwin split wide, Longstreth with fullback. Dante Flatty, Wildcat quarterback, runs up the middle. It's going to get from the 35 to right around the 41-yard line. Gains about 6. That'll set up around the 2nd and 4 for West State. They're going to give them 5. So 2nd and 5 from the 35-yard line of West Allegheny. The 40-yard line went from the 35 to the 40. So I'm getting my spotting tonight has been spotty. You know what? I don't blame you because your glasses are a little water dropped, and it's just really unfortunate to be out here in this kind of condition. Cruz and Baldwin, the receiver split. Longstreth blocking as the fullback. Ian McBain is the sidecar for Dante Flatty and the Wildcat. Flatty will take it.
He'll run behind that line. We'll get to right about the 43. So that won't be enough for the first down. That'll set up a 3rd and 3. They gave him 2. And Westlake has the ball on its own 42-yard line. 3rd and 3, and we'll see if they continue with the run or if they try to throw maybe short pass and get a much-needed first down. Cam Cruz is back out at quarterback. Guilfoyle and Baldwin split to Cruz's left side. Flatty in at the tailback. McBain, his sidecar, is blocking for him. That's going to be Damien Raver. And they're going to pitch to Dante Flatty, and that is going to go nowhere. Dropped for a loss. Logan Young doing a great job of bringing down Flatty. That's a loss of 5, sets up a 4th and 8, and West A's going to have to punt. And West A's had a little trouble punting the ball all season.
They have, but the good news is that clock's still rolling. 6:35 to go. I believe Moon still has all 3 of its timeouts.
Yeah, and West A's defense is playing very well, so no need to panic. On the punt is Gavin Miller.
And they can't allow a big return here from Moon.
Miller back to punt.
Miller's punt is away. Logan Young was back to receive. And that's going to be fielded at the 50-yard line to the 40-yard line and brought down right around the 33-yard line by Ramon Dean. I got to be honest, I kind of lost. I was focused on the returner, which is not a good thing to do in broadcasting, and wasn't quite able to catch the events of that punt.
Yeah, and Ramon Dean, a tremendous job by one half of the Dean brothers to be aware on the punt team there, and just take it for a really sizable return.
Little John on the carry, and he has room. He will trudge forward to right around the 24-yard line, close to the first down marker. Flatty on the tackle. And that sets up right about a 2nd and 3 for Moon. On the 27-yard line, Moon, similar to West Allegheny, Jack, in its only scoring drive, having a very short field, taking over at the West A 34 and moving it to the 27. 3 receivers in, along with the fullback and the tailback. Give us a Little John, and Little John had trouble handling it. Luckily, able to fall on his own fumble at right around the 28-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 1. 29, excuse me. So it's going to be a loss of 2. Sets up a 3rd and 6 for Moon. And Ty McGowan, freshman, first high school start. Raver looking to make something big happen against West Allegheny. McGowan takes a snap, he fires it, and he completes it at the 20-15, and brought down at around the 10-yard line is Malcolm Johnson, and the tables are turning. Moon is right on the door of potentially tying this football game.
And things are about to get very interesting, Joe, if Moon's able to score here. With 4:40 to go, you'd have to think that if they're able to get it in here, West A's in a little bit of trouble, and this one might be going to overtime.
1st and 10, ball in the 11. 3 receivers set. They're going to give it to Little John. And he hurdles a man, but he'll be brought down by Mateo Vandamia at right around the 6-yard line. Gains about 5, but now Moon has a 2nd and goal. 4:14 and counting the play. Ty McGowan filling in for junior quarterback Dante Clay, who was injured in last week's loss to Moon. Moon beat West Allegheny last year 27-20. That was the first time in more than a decade that Moon was able to beat its former Parkway Conference rivals. Give is to Lil John, and he's gonna kind of ride that train of West Side defenders forward. He'll be tackled at right around the 3 or 2 yard line. That'll set up a 3rd and goal for Moon. 3rd and 1, ball at the 2. So not quite a goal situation, but it might as well be.
And 2.
So knocking on the door, 3:20 to play. Trying to break a 3-game losing streak. In the words of Bob Palco, this is Moon's playoff game. The Tigers are eliminated from playoff contention, but still have a chance against West Allegheny. But those chances go down as Littlejohn is brought down for a loss. West Allegheny's defensive front in on that tackle. Cam Cruz, Kyle Guilfoyle, along with a few defensive linemen, bringing down Littlejohn for a loss. That'll set up a 4th and 4, and Moon has no choice. They got to go for it, and a timeout is going to be called with 2:46 to play here at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, this is it. Because if Moon doesn't score here, they just burned its first timeout, so they have 2 left. And if they can't score here, West Day gets a first down on the next offensive possession. We can pack up and West Allegheny can have a share of the conference title and look next week to hopefully a home playoff game and its quest for Coach Palco's ninth WPIAL title. And, being familiar with what Coach Palco has done earlier in life and then becoming even more familiar with it, hopping on these broadcasts with you, Joe, it's without a doubt to me that I think that Bob Palco is the greatest coach to ever grace a sideline in the WPIAL.
Yes, early in the discussion, one of his disciples actually knocked Bob Palco off in their first head-to-head meeting last year. Ryan Wynn, in his second season at Moon, beat Bob Palco in the similar situation in Week 9 last year. So we'll see if the student can knock off the teacher once again.
Now West Day wants to talk things over.
West Day calling a timeout. Moon almost unquestionably will look for a pass play. This time McGowan was set up there. So, hypothetically, if Moon's able to convert this 4th down and score a touchdown, do you think they're going to go for the win? Go for a 2-point conversion? I would too. I would absolutely.
Because what do you have to lose? You go 2-8 instead of. I think if I'm Ryan Lynn, with this is your last game, you'd have to go for it because then that puts the pressure on West Allegheny to go down the field and score. And if you're able to convert the 2-point conversion and knock off West Day for a second year in a row, that's a great way to end a somewhat of a disappointing season, especially with your quarterback not being able to play tonight due to an injury. So if they're able to punch this one in from 5 yards out, I would trot out your offense again to try and take the lead. But we'll see what happens here.
Gowan in at quarterback, sends a man in motion, and he'll actually pitch it, and that goes nowhere. Surprise play call there by Moon. Javon Baldwin makes the play, and West Allegheny takes over on downs.
And Javon Baldwin shot out of the cannon, was able to go to the ball carrier who got the pitch. And it was funny because if Baldwin doesn't recognize that play, Zach Tanner was open. So that pitch and pass probably would have worked if the speed from Baldwin and the recognition from Baldwin wasn't applied there. So a tremendous job by Drayvon Baldwin defensively tonight. Unfortunately, him being the big play threat, not able to being put to use on offense just due to the conditions, not being able to throw the ball. But his presence has been felt on defense tonight, and you saw it there.
West Allegheny in the I formation in its own end zone. Connor Stout, the only receiver. That give is going to be straight up the middle to right around the initial line of scrimmage. Set up about a 2nd and 10 from the 5. 2nd and 9, they did give him a yard. Nico Flatty trudges to the 6-yard line. Jed Cunningham on the tackle. The clock is ticking, but Moon's defense is going to have to either force a turnover or at least force a 3 and out to get the ball back in any reasonable amount of time to try and go back and tie and even win this football game. Let's say going back to the Wildcat. Cam Cruz, Connor Stout, the receivers. Dante Flatty is your Wildcat quarterback, set up right around the goal line. And he'll take that up the middle, and he'll go to right about the 12-yard line. That's a gain of about 6. Cunningham again on the tackle. That's Nico Flatty, excuse me. Both have such a similar build that it's kind of hard to tell one for the other.
Yeah, and Moon just called its second timeout.
Yep, have one left. That's another factor. And if West Allegheny gets a first down, I think the game is essentially in the bag. You never want to really say that because we've watched sports long enough. We've seen just about everything. But very hard to imagine Boone being able to get the ball with enough time to get into that end zone if they don't stop West Allegheny on this third down.
Yeah, and that would be really something if they were able to do that. But, you know, I blame the conditions all night, and I'll continue to blame the conditions because they suck.
Yep.
It's extremely unlikely.
West Allegheny last season lost in the quarterfinals in a really heartbreaker to McKeesport 21-20. 2 years ago, Paul Palco's 8th WPIAL championship team beat McKeesport. Nick Ross rolling out for a 2-point conversion. Probably the most exciting game in the history of West Allegheny football, if I'm being honest. Before that, 2015, lost 14-0 to Thomas Jefferson in the WPIAL quarterfinals. Preceding that 2015 team were 3 straight WPIAL championship appearances. 2 of them resulted in wins.
And folks, keep in mind that Joe Smeltzer his prep is drenched, and
this is all based from memory.
And this is all coming out of his head, and an impressive brain indeed. Knowing pretty much every World Series. How about 1990 real quick?
Reds have erased 4 games.
Just absolutely ridiculous.
2 receivers in for West A, a fullback and a running back. And Nico Flatty will take the snap, and he's going to have the first down.
Ice, baby.
He's still going along. He'll be tackled at right around the 28-yard line. But the important thing is the chains move, and West Allegheny is now in pretty good shape to finish this season with a share of the Allegheny 8 Conference Championship.
Yeah, Ryan Lynn burns his last time out. You can light your Lanny for Terry cigar on this game. A tremendous, hard-nosed football game. Dante Flatty, if we had a player of the game that we assigned every week, I'd give mine to Dante Flatty. Just a tremendous job on the Wildcat, punching in the only touchdown this game. And West A is a couple of plays away from going home with its 7th victory on the season, finishing 7-2. And with really only one bad game this season. And that was the first game you and I broadcast together against Peters Township. They were just not able to stop Logan Pfeiffer defensively. Baldwin hasn't either, as they trailed 35-0 the last time we checked that score.
Got to think Josh Casilli is having a major part in that game right now.
Yeah, Josh Casilli's a pretty good wide receiver. And Logan Pfeiffer, only a sophomore or a junior, I believe, a pretty darn good quarterback. So going into next year, with a majority of the skill players coming back for Peters and Logan Pfeiffer, and Cam Cruz, the quarterback of West A, that matchup next year will probably be one to watch.
It'll be one to watch, and Cam Cruz is going to take a knee. Clock's just going to melt down, 1:37 and counting.
Jump on the mic here and take a minute to thank our WA Sports Network crew from this season. First off, Joe and Jack, thank you for weathering the elements tonight. We are outside in the bleachers here at Moon, and it has been something. You guys have been with us for most of the season. I appreciate that. And Joe, all the other guys you brought down from Waynesburg to cover the mic this season. We want to thank our cameramen from this season. We had Ben Gigliotti as our main replay camera operator. We also had throughout the season Logan Wishman, Aiden Freed, and our producers of the WA Sports Network, Nick Staub and Roman Swayze. And Joe, I'll hand it back to you with a minute left.
Yeah, Dakota, Also want to take this time to thank you for allowing, and Joe as well, allowing me to get some more play-by-play experience, because this is ultimately what I want to do with my life. And being able to call, this is my 5th game now, covering this West A team, a tremendous football team, a tremendous culture, tradition under Bob Palco, and being able to cover this team and work with you guys has been an extreme pleasure of mine. And I thank you guys sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Being able to work with you guys, it's been an absolute blast. Even tonight, I might even go out on a limb and say that tonight was the best game, because it was just fun. I mean, I'm soaking wet and freezing, but you know what? West A's celebrating right now. They caught the victory. They're 7-2. A share of the Allegheny 8 title. They're riding high going into the playoffs. And the next couple of weeks is going to be really, really fun if you're an Indians fan.
And there's the final whistle of the 2018 regular season. West Allegheny finishes 7-1 in the Allegheny 8 Conference and 7-2 overall, beating Moon 7-0. It wasn't pretty. Once they got the job done, that's all that matters. They'll be in the playoffs next week, hopefully at Joe DiMichele Stadium, and hopefully in better weather conditions. I'd like to echo Dakota's sentiments in saying that everybody here at the West Allegheny Sports Network does a fantastic job week in and week out, bringing you coverage of West Allegheny football and what's to this point been a pretty fun season for West A. Bob Palco's last season on the sidelines for West Allegheny, another successful one in the regular season at least. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. That remains to be seen. But as for the regular season, very successful one for West Allegheny, winning almost every game that lost to Peters Township, the only blemish, against some pretty good competition as well.
And, you know, there's a lot of good teams in 5A, Joe. Penn Hills, Gateway, Peters Township as well. And this sled of games for West Allegheny is going to be tough. But you know what? With this defensive core, led by Mateo Vandamia on the defensive side of the ball, and just your ball hawk of linebackers, Ian McBain, Shea Downing, and your defensive backs as well, Logan Malatak, Logan Scheider at the safeties, Baldwin, and Dante Flatty on the corners, as well as Nico Flatty as well. This defense will compete with almost every team in 5A, and it's up to the athleticism of Cam Cruz and his ability to lead this offense. And if he does, Joe, a 9th WPIAL title is not out of the question.
It's not out of the question. And talking to Bob Palco, I mentioned this earlier, but he told me a few weeks back that if somebody had told him before the season that West A would be in this position, winning a share of the conference championship, he would have had his doubts. This is a team that lost a lot of talent from last season. Anthony Delafade, Will Weber, among those graduating for West A. But the winning tradition kind of keeps on rolling for the Indians. And I would say that this team's regular season, 2018, was better than 2017.
It was. And I have nothing else to say. This is going to be a fun slate of games in the playoffs for West A, and I'm looking forward to following it for them. Go Indians.
Go Indians is right. That's going to do it for us from Moon High School. For Jack Hillgrove, I'm Joe Smeltzer, and now we're going to throw it to the best that the 2018 regular season had to offer with our West Allegheny Sports Network season highlights. Good night from Moon.
1st and 10 from the 22. Cruz hands off. It's Flatty again. Finds a hole. He's at the 10. And he gets into the end zone for the West Allegheny touchdown. Cruz is in the shotgun. Tries the goal line fade, and instead it's caught in the end zone. Is he in? Yes, he is for the West Allegheny touchdown. That's Kyle Guilfoyle. 1st and 10 from the 14. Cruz looking right, fades to the end zone. Caught in the corner by Vandamia for the West Allegheny touchdown. Back on offense goes West Allegheny after the 61-yard punt by Austin Cortopassi. Vladdy breaks it up the middle. He's got all sorts of room. He's at the 45, the 45, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Dante Vladdy all the way, 87 yards, touchdown West Allegheny. A 2-point conversion to win it or lose it for West A. Cruz flips it into the end zone. It's caught, and West Allegheny wins. Isaac Longstreth hauls it in, and the Indians shock the Blackhawks 36-35.
Two receivers to the right now. McGinsky goes through. That pass is batted down, intercepted by Mateo Van Damia. He might be going. Gasilli tracking him down, and he cannot trip him up. Jay Downing batted the pass, and Damia intercepted it, and West Allegheny gets the momentum right back. Cam Cruz is in, two receivers to the near side. Guilfoyle and Baldwin. Cruz play fake to Flatty, and he is looking deep, and he has Javon Baldwin wide open. No question about that. 55 yards on the touchdown. West Allegheny cuts into that deficit. Cam Cruz to Javon Baldwin, 28-13 Peters Township.
Is Flatty. One receiver to the near side of the field, that's Baldwin. Cruz will turn and give play action. Looking downfield, he has Baldwin, and it's caught on a dead run. Javon Baldwin breaks the tackle. Touchdown West Allegheny. And just like that, it's a 7-point ball game on the throw from Cam Cruz, and he's picked up. Straight to the wide side left. Cruz in the shotgun gets the snap. Punk fakes left and up the middle. Cruz, goal line. Touchdown Indians. Cruz will go under center with a fullback behind him. Cruz plowing to the goal line. Touchdown West Allegheny. 23-0. Wow. Rolling right, or left, excuse me. Turning back is Cruz, and he's got Dante Flatty wide open. 30, 25, 20. Dante, 10, 5. Touchdown West Allegheny.
Cam Cruz sneaks it again. Touchdown West A.
Good night. Sends Guilfoyle in motion. Cruz gets the snap, rolling right, looking to pass. He's got time. Towards the sideline, throws it, and caught for a touchdown.
Hanshit's going to run up to the ball. He's going to send this one away. Nice kick, and that one's going to go into the arms of Baldwin around the 10-yard line. Baldwin's going to run up to the 20. He's past the 20. He's at the 30. Baldwin's going to avoid a defender. He's at the 40. Baldwin is at midfield. There is nobody going to get Baldwin. And the 20. He's at the 10. And touchdown. West Allegheny answers quickly, and they are back in the lead.
Protector to his left. Gets the call. That's Dante Flatty to the 25. Breaks the tackle at the 20. Bouncing it near side, far sideline, 10, 5. Touchdown Indians. Shotgun for Cruz. Two receivers to the short side of the field. He'll keep it on the keeper. Nope, that is Cam Cruz. Past the 20 to the 15. Jukes a couple of tacklers to the 10, the 5. Dives. Touchdown Indians.
Miller in a quarterback. He'll take the snap and he'll throw it and he'll hit his man in the end zone. That is John Rink.
Low snap, but he's got it. Cruz is back. Firing downfield. Javon Baldwin, and it's caught! Javon Baldwin into the end zone! Touchdown West Allegheny! Oh my goodness!